never fail. We serve a God who never fail. Who never fail. You have never failed. Forevermore. I serve a God who never fails. I serve a God who never fails. I serve a God who never fails. Oh, never fail. Oh, never fail. Forevermore. I serve a God who has never failed. I serve a God who has never failed. I serve a God who never fail. Oh, never fail. Oh, never fail. Forevermore. I serve a God who never fail. I serve a God who never fail. I serve a God who never fail. Who never fail. Who never fail. Forevermore. I serve a God who never fail. I serve a God who never fail. I serve a God who never fail. Oh, never fail. Oh, never fail. Forevermore. I serve a God who I serve a God who never fail. I serve a God who never fail. Who never fail. Who never fail. Forever. I yield my spirits to you. I yield my mind to you. I yield my thoughts to you. May I become a vessel that you will speak through this evening. Let Jesus be glorified. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Can you have yours? Before us is the scripture being revealed. Before our very eyes. Jesus said to his mother, "Why are you looking for me? Don't you know I should be about my Father's business?" His mother said to me, "Say, Prof, I don't know what that boy has with God, but I will not stand in between both of them." What was in his mind when he was in class? Anyway, this is the last time he will use his school bus. Let the term finish. There will not be need for that again in his life. I want you to hear me. Help is found in a place. You don't find help everywhere. Help is in a geographical location. Pardon me, the grace of God and the heaviness of the anointing upon my life is not going to permit me to get into our formation. Galatians chapter 2 and verse 2. And I went up by revelation. I went up. I went up by revelation. What you know determines how far you will go. I went up by revelation. I went up by revelation. What you know determines how far. That is the way the Igbo man says it. And we had could be a robber. I went up, amplified. I went up by revelation. I went up because of a divine revelation. And I put before them the gospel which I preached among the Gentiles. Return back to King James. I will come back to deal with the word called revelation. But in a literal term, it's a simple way of explaining mysterious things. That's what revelation. I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that gospel which I preached among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation. Now the segment of the people that he was speaking to are those that has what? Reputation. He said, lest by any means I should run or had run in vain. The level of your preparation is the level of your ministration. You can't prepare for level 1 and minister to level 5. No. The level of your preparation is the level of your ministration. You are a product of the information you received and the interpretation you gave to them. Time is a very strong factor. There is something that you are doing to yourself that in the next 2-3 years the accumulation of what you have done to yourself will beat the world's imagination. I went up by revelation. Revelation becomes the pathway. Listen, when you do things by revelation. You know, my first on Chibuzo, there was a time we were in Ehimeri. We did not have, which one is, not even Oxfam, what it was one Oxfam. And then he came to me one of the days. He said, Papa, I had a revelation. So I know what is in him. As I listened. I said, what is it? He said, Papa, I entered church one day and it was AC all around, no single hanging fan. He said, the people I saw, I don't even know them, they are not here. Everywhere was filled and the service was on. Today, while we were fixing the ACs, I called him. I said, it took 2 years and some months for your revelation to come to pass. I didn't explain this to him. Sometimes when we give prophecies, it doesn't look like it. But the problem is that you don't follow through in time to know. Let's see Isaiah chapter 60. Give me amplified version. I went up by revelation. Isaiah 60 verse 1. Amplified. Arise from what? Spiritual depression to what? Shine. Be radiant with the glory and what? Listen. The proof of God is excellence. Anytime you see anything that is excellent, God is there. You cannot say you are of God and then you do things less than that of God. The proof that you have God is the level of excellence, is the level of brilliance that you showcase by time in dishing out your responsibilities. Is a proof of God. Excellence is a proof of God. Whenever you are excellent in doing your responsibility, you are of God. He said, and the glory and what? The brilliance of the Lord has risen upon you. Excellence. There is a way you do your things. There is a way you approach your matters. Your reasoning is different. When you open your mouth, people are saying, what manner of guy is this? Before Danny, it was Danny that changed the message. That encounter I had with him truncated what I prepared, because I wanted to talk about the issue of marriage as a system of advantage. But when he did what he did, he changed the message. The quality of who you are is what will determine the quality of the man that will come to your life. At the level that you play is what will determine the people that will be in your cycle and circle. You can show forth that you are very meticulous, excellent, the way you do things, until the responsibility is handed over to you. Over time, you will know you are not as good as you. You will just realize that you are not as good as you think. That's why he said, arise from spiritual depression to a new life. He said, shine, be radiant with the glory and the brilliance of the Lord. It is a standard, is a requirement. It's 21 days. And you know that you have an appointment with God. There is nothing that should come in between you and the appointment with God. That was a message I prepared on the day that God gave man appointment. God was disappointed. It is between you and God. It is a 21 days that determines the rest of the year. You cannot be so serious with God for 21 days and you mess up the rest of the year. It's not possible. It's not. I was talking with my brother over the phone this afternoon. He said, you have to come to US this year. I said, no. Nigeria is very sweet. He said, we are here, we take care of you. I said, no, sir. Here is sweet. The level of, Jesus help you. You are unprepared. Time is not a factor to you. The tickings of the clock doesn't matter to you. You live your life on, the only thing you add every year is age. They taught you, you said, do you know how old I am? We know you just added +1. Don't frighten us. Abraham, leave your father's house. If not, at age 70, you will not have any encounter with God. At 800, you won't get anything. Abraham, leave your father's house. There is a reason to that. While I was in school, I told myself, I said, look, at age 26, I'll leave my father's house. It doesn't matter whether I have the money or not. And to God be the glory, I started ministry at age 26. So I carried my bag. And I looked at my family house as I will never return back here. You don't take some certain decisions, you will never go. You are in a place where they will give you peanuts. You answer, okay, big name. And there is no commensurate amount of money in your pocket. Sometimes when they are sending congratulations and new month's birthday, your bank forgets you. Because you don't understand that the unit of destiny is time. Listen, if you lose anything in life and you have time, you didn't lose anything. But if you lose time, no matter what you have lost that. Every sick person will recover if there is time. The only reason people die is because of lack of the management of time. Because your health will recover over time. Without even drugs, the systems and the organs of the body has a pathway of rejuvenating themselves and restoring themselves. That is why when you go to sleep, there is a high circulation, and then when you wake up, you are re-energized. That re-energized that you just all of a sudden you received it was your body providing it. So people die because there is lack of what? Time management. There will be time. That's why in a certain issue they put you under coma. They give you oxygen so that they can sustain time and give time for your body to begin to heal. And then they will give your body assistance that will help your body begin to develop. It's not because you won't recover with their no time. No. They know on their own. But if they don't manage the time very well, you will lose it. The definition of a child is a person who do not understand time. Any person that does not understand time is a child. Somebody is at the age of 23. And you say you are going to go to university in Nigeria. That is plus or minus 7 years. Plus ASU strike. You will now be 31 coming out to a year. It's already after 8 in your life. You now go to service and come out 32 and a half. You are celebrating your birthday as 33. That's how you will now want somebody that is reasonable to come and marry you. Is a lie. Someone that has wasted the time as you wasted your own will come and marry you. Both of you can quarter your life there. What is the time? What says the time? The time I'm talking about is not, they'll not ask you what's the time of your life. Like if I ask you now, Pastor Moses, what's the time? You now say it's 6:20, 21. No, that's not the time I'm talking about. What says the time? The Bible said that men of Issachar, they understood the time and they know what Israel ought to do. The knowledge of ought to do is the definition of time. When you know what you are supposed to do at a particular dispensation and season, you understand time. So there must be a structure that you set up to help you to beat what? Time. Let's see Galatians chapter 4 verse 1. Now I say to you that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from who? A servant, though he be what? Lord of all. If I must value you, I must watch how you respond to time. How do you respond to time? Let me give you an example. There is an emergency. Meanwhile, for you to understand time, there is a subject matter that must be clear to you. It's called a scale of preference. It's an economic term. If you don't understand scale of preference, you would never be a meticulous person in time management. Scale of preference is what is the most important thing to do. That scale of preference. The moment you don't understand what to do by time, you will not manage time. Something happened while I graduated. It was so very important that everybody was talking about going to service and all that. I said, I'm not going anywhere. They said, why? I said, because it's a waste of energy and time. Give up what you cannot lose for what you can never gain. It is called the law of suspension of gratification. You have to learn to lose immediate gains for long-term gratification. I am one person that understands that. Suspend immediate gain for long-term gratification. You must learn it. That is a proof that you understand the nature of time. Do you know how to leave the things that matters less to do the things that matters most? As a lady, do you need bone straight hair? Yes. Do you need it now? No. As a lady, do you need to fix nails? Maybe yes. But must you fix nails now? No. As a boy, must you buy new shoe, new clothes, new watch? You need it. But do you need it now? No. The first person to spend money on is your mind. Because your mind is the seat of management. Your mind is the seat of management. So where to spend the money first is the mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. 50,000 naira shoe with 1 million naira watch with 5 naira mentality. Your worth is what? 5 naira. But the problem is that we do the first and second. Listen, when you hear there is a breakthrough, there are 3 things that came in contact to produce the breakthrough: opportunity plus preparation and time. These are the 3 things. If you have 2 out of 3, you will never have a breakthrough. Whenever you see a breakthrough, there are 3 things that came together to form that breakthrough. Number 1 is opportunity. Number 2 is preparation. Number 3 is time. Whenever these 3 naked wires meet, automatically there will be a breakthrough. Until these 3 things happens, you will be under tutors and governors. Until what? Until the appointed time I appointed. I had a keyboardist one of the times, and one day we were just sitting outside, and I asked him to look at the mango tree. He looked. I said, the mango tree is like a life. He said, what do I mean? I said, life is a master's class. He said, Papa, explain. I said, in masters, you can decide to do a master's course for 10 years. You can also decide to do it for 3 months. You can also decide to do it for 6 months. Nobody's pursuing you. You can also decide to do master's class for 20 years. Nobody's shy. So in masters, there is no timeline. It is how fast you are with your what? With your positions. I said to him, life is a master's class. You can choose. You see the whole suffering. I said, Jesus, gather them in 3 months. In 3 years, give it to me. I will take it. Don't pity for me. If I pray liberation prayer, kill me. These 3 years, I am waiting. That's my school of suffering. I told Jesus, I need 3 years. Give me 3 years. Gather it as a son. What you don't lose to fathers is the power of negotiation. He said, come boldly, let us reason together. So I went to him. I said, my own, give me 3 years suffering. Let me eat. Then he appeared to me and said, 3 years I will allow you to suffer. On the 4th year, I will appear to you as a help. But on the 5th year, I will reveal you to the world. Listen, if you don't have the appointed time, you will miss the time I appointed. I want to repeat it again. If you don't have the appointed time, you miss the time appointed. Because to every season, there is a time appointed to it. When they met Sarah, they said to Sarah, according to the time of life. There is a time of life. There is a time of life. When God looks at you, he gives you what is called an appointed time. An appointed time. So if you don't have the appointed time, you miss the time appointed. You miss opportunities. And then you begin to shout, oh, had I known. Oh, had I known. Many a time the devil deceives us with the knowledge that we still have time. The devil cannot steal, he cannot kill, he cannot destroy until he gets time. When the devil catches you with time, procrastination, what you're supposed to do today, you said, let me try and do it in 5 months' time. Maybe tomorrow. No. If it is time, it is time. If God tells you, sow the seed now, do it now. Sometimes you might bring that seed is heavy, and he said, add more. You will say, as a girl, I want to travel to Bahamas and travel to Kuwait. Then one man with 1,000 polo comes to you and says, I want to marry you. You start crying and say, God, how did I offend you? Who did I offend? And you don't know that that person that is speaking to you is the next happening guy in town. The next billionaire is the person talking to you. My grandfather taught me something. He said, my son. I said, sir. He said, Chibuzo. When your father came to marry your mother, he said there were 6 men. And that 6 men, your father was the poorest. Your father, your grandfather is you people know he has a lot of money. We built the first story building in my local government. It was in my house. He said, but yet your father was not as rich as other men. He said, do you know why I took your mother's hand and gave to your father? I said, Papa, no. He said, I saw where he was going, and I saw that he's a man who can fight to death, that will not allow his children to go hungry. He said, that was enough for me. Now the breaking news. Out of the 6, I think 3 is dead. The 3 that is remaining, none of them is standing on their feet. And this man, it keeps him waxing stronger and stronger. Listen, you don't follow people for where they are. You follow them for where they are going to. If I didn't tell you anything today, I have told you everything. You don't follow people for where they are. You follow people for where they are going to. If you don't have the on-site for insight, you will miss the on-site. Give me my next Bible chapter, please. One of the ways of beating time is to follow the man that has, you can cheat on time. Do you know? Oh, you don't know? Listen to me in class. I'm teaching you. Am I teaching good this evening? All right. Now listen. You've already wasted your time in other things. Now, God gives you a chance. You begin to see a man that has cheated time. I went to a bank. So, I was wearing polo and trousers with slippers. So, the guy that is in the thing, now saw Joel Atuma. Looked at me. Is he Prophet Joel Atuma? I said, yes. He looked at me. So where is your church? Are you the... I said, that's the church I have there. He said, you. I said, he said, you. I said, I know I don't look like it. Just give me what I want. Let me go. Oh. The unit of time is what? Seconds. For you to cheat time, you need to gain speed over time. And that thing is called acceleration. So, what you are supposed to achieve in 30 years, you have to look for a system that can give you that thing in 3 days. How do I explain? Okay. Now there are two individuals. Can I have to? Present pastor come. Protocol pastor come. All right. Please just stand. Stand. Now these are two individuals on the journey of destiny. This gentleman here has time advantage in that he has done everything he's supposed to do. He's now okay. He has gone to school, university, and then he's about graduating. This person, while he was in school, she was at home. Are we together? Please follow this. She was at home serving as a maid and all that. Very, very meticulous. Now, this guy is going to school. But their place of appointment is supposed to be at a billionaire summit. Because that's where her breakthrough is. Now, there is no way she can keep on being a maid. Though she's comfortable and living good, she cannot keep on being a maid and meet this guy. Are you following me? Now, all of a sudden, a church opens up. And then the pastor takes her as a secretary. I want you to follow this story. The pastor takes her as a secretary. And then she's so committed to the pastor. Now the pastor is climbing. The pastor is in the same level with this person who has gone to school. And so in the billionaire summit, they invite the pastor for an opening prayer. Now the pastor is going for an opening prayer. Who does the pastor go with? The secretary. Now they approach there, and she carries the Bible of the pastor and just drops on the stage. To leave the stage, he sees her and says, "Wow, who is this beautiful lady that is going walking with the pastor?" Now, the credibility of the pastor has been invested in her, because for her to carry the pastor's Bible on the stage, it means that the pastor has invested his influence and credibility on her. So the pastor prays in the prayer point. After leading the prayer, gives the opening remark. Here comes the summit. The summit ends. The pastor wants to go. He meets the pastor. As a man of God, sir, I'm sorry, but I just want to ask for a favor. Can I be able to approach your secretary and have a discussion with her? And then the pastor says, "Okay, but you have to be serious-minded person. My secretary is very meticulous. Is very meticulous, and a diligent girl, someone that is very, very diligent and excellent in her presentation and work. So please, I'm investing my credibility in you." Whereas the credibility is on her. But the pastor has changed the equation now. Instead of the girl being the one begging, it is the billionaire that is not begging the girl. So please, just if you know you're not going to be serious and real to my daughter, please just let her be. She is very important in what I am trying to achieve in life. And the man of God said, I promise you, sir, I won't joke with her. I won't joke with her, please. I just give me this opportunity. And then the pastor calls the secretary and said, "Ma, please, give him an urgent attention." And the man of God walks out. And then because she has prepared herself, time, preparation, and opportunity are on the table for her. Now, the billionaire begins to talk to her, pleading. He said, "Let me think about it. Just give me a little time. I don't want to rush things. I have been taught by my dear man of God to make right decisions." You see what's going on there now? And then You can now go. She goes. And then the billionaire approaches the pastor and says, this girl is very difficult. Say, yes, that's how she is. Just be patient with her. And I know that with time, if she sees you reasonable and very serious and diligent in your ways, you're dedicated to God and the things of God, everything will work out fine. He said, dedication, what are you talking about? The next day, he brings the latest Benz and say, ma, just to aid your service to my dear man of God, have these Benz. Do you know what happened? She has cheated on time. The level ground, she would have never be able to meet the billionaire. Because she has the appointed time, she didn't meet the time of appointment. You see what happens here? She has cheated time. Having that understanding that you can cheat on time, it doesn't matter what you have lost, you should have a relaxed mind. You can go. If you read the book of Philemon, you will see what happened between Onesimus, Paul, and Philemon. That's my sweetest place in this. I'm not going to be Atuma. Onesimus is a runaway slave. He's a slave to Philemon. Now, Philemon is the boss to Onesimus. So Onesimus carried Philemon's money and his belongings and ran away. Now, while Onesimus was running, he met Paul in the prison. And then Paul preached to him and he repented and told Paul his story. Now Paul picks a pen and a paper and writes to Philemon and says to him, I am returning back Onesimus back to you, but I am not sending him again to you as a slave. There has been a substitution of destiny. Onesimus has found the structure and the system to cheat on time. Now I want you to receive Onesimus not as a runaway slave, but I want you to receive Onesimus as your brother. Because you are my son, Philemon. Onesimus now, who is a runaway slave, is also my son. So both of you are now my son. So you cannot be receiving a brother as a slave. Now I want you to know that whatsoever Onesimus was owing you, that I, Paul, can pay that debt. But I need you to remember that you, Onesimus, and Philemon, everything you have belongs to me, Paul, because you are my son. Now, if everything you, Philemon, has belongs to me as Paul, it means that Onesimus is no longer owing you. Time. He said, not now as a servant, but above a servant. What? A brotherly beloved, specially to me, but how much more unto thee, both in the flesh and in the Lord. This was the letter of Paul. Onesimus got into a system that helped him to cheat on time. I can't do anything. My time is fast spent. Time can be cheated on. A woman is pregnant barren for 4 years, and then that woman has four children out of the 4 years. Now this woman is pregnant and she's giving birth to quadruple. that attracted the interest of the government to give the 4 children scholarship. That is cheating on time. The majority of the problem that we have is that we are in a haste. I know what? Some people are moving. Am I moving? Am I moving? Church, am I moving? But am I making progress? Am I making progress? But am I moving? Some people are doing like this in life. For 20 years, they will keep moving. Where you saw them today, it's not where you saw them yesterday. It's not where you will see them tomorrow. But they are just what? In a cycle. Not making progress, but just making movement. Life is progressive. There must be a kind of a measurement of progressiveness. I sat down. You see that issue of I sat down and I said, I know I'm going to answer this call, whether I like it or not. So I don't have 1 year to waste. Rather, that 1 year, as people are saying, hey, soldier, hey, 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 I'll be reading my Bible. Now I said, oh, soldier, hey, hey, hey. So attention. I now imagine myself carrying bucket. I said, no. Amame. I said, instead of going there to waste 21 days in camp and come out and 1 year, I said, Lord, man, I will use this 1 year on the mountain. I understand the system of time. So when they were in school, we are in their color, that NYSC color, kake. I was busy in the mountains of UNN, digging deep in the world and finding mysteries. Meanwhile, my 2 friends, one now is on a rapper at Enugu. That's where all the whole first class ended. Systems of advantage. I don't have time to talk on this thing, but let me tell you something. Anything big will always start small. Today, they will say you are wasting your time. I told him something. I said to him, son, allow all these people that think they are on the high lane of speed, allow them to keep running. But there is one thing I want you to do. Detect it with time. After a few years, let's press calculator. If any of them is better than you, I said to him, son, know that I lied to you. You see a car, you don't know. After 5 minutes, you saw where the car was parked. The person that did film, their one leg is what they are pulling out. And then you, slow and steady. I said to him, the kingdom is the older you stay, the bigger you become. But in the world, the older you stay, the smaller you become. It did not start with Yahoo. It started with 419. A Buata 419 is on another level. In the next 5-10 years, another scheme will come out. And you that was a master in this one will lose it here. But you see, in this kingdom, the higher you go, the older you stay, the bigger you become. Eventually, he will have sons one day that he has trained on the base. That when he's crossing his leg, you say, boss, maybe we just do our boss. During COVID-19, music ministers should have learned a lesson that they are not as smart as they thought. Because I could give them anywhere. In fact, they were looking for churches to go and play for free so that they can see food to eat. Should have taught them a lesson. I will repeat in the order of my spiritual mentor. If you are a music minister and church give you money, you will collect, you will never be rich. If you like, let them give you 1 million. Do it anyhow you want. You see richness, prosperity, you won't smell it. Because you are not part of the system. You don't follow for what they do. You're a passerby. And you don't give what belongs to the children to the dogs. Inheritance must be gotten. Please give me 2 Chronicles, I close. Listen. When you understand that God is involved. Meanwhile, hear me. I want you to hear me. It's not everybody that talking with the white person is duping the white person. You can be important and relevant in their life. They will still give you the money. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Second Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 8. The Bible said, and God is able. If you have Bible, just mark able, ability. God is able to make what? All grace abound towards you. That you always having what? All sufficiencies. All grace provides all sufficiency. All grace provides what? All sufficiency. In what? How many things? In all things. He said, when this thing is given to you, you may now abound to every good work. Every good work requires what? All sufficiencies to all grace. I was talking to you here about one of my sons. As I was talking about getting a place in Moa, you said, I'm here now. You just drove me there, Pia. And we went to Secretary's office, and with honor and dignity and respect, we got a place without following through protocols and all that. It is all what? All grace, providing what? All sufficiency. If it is some grace, don't expect it to provide all sufficiency. I close. Don't give God half and ask him for full cup. We'll make a lot of mistakes. You don't give God half of your time and ask him to give you full of his resources. If you give God half time, also ask him for what? Half of your resources. Be sincere enough. Don't ever say you are giving full when it is half. When you give God half, please, when you are praying, say, God, answer 5/10 of my prayers. When you give God your 100, it is not a man that will tell him. He knows. And he says that you, the thought I have for you, is the thought of good and not of evil. But there is an expectation that you have, that me and you have gotten into an agreement with, that as for this expectation, I will give you an expected end. Then he said to you, said, I am not a man that I should lie. I am not the son of man that I should repent. When I have seen your 100% commitment and dedication to my works, then of course a necessity bounds me that I will provide for you all things according to the grace at work in you. So the level of access you have with God is dependent on the level of relationship and commitment he has found in you. You don't give him half and ask for full. It doesn't work. When you give God half, please, when you're asking him, ask him for half. He said he is not unjust to forget the labor of your love. If you have actually put everything you've got, it will show. I told one pastor one day, he got angry with me. I said, sir, how many years have you been in ministry? He says 13 years. I said, if I stay 13 years in ministry and be like you, I'll close the shop and go and sell tomato. I was obviously not called. He was looking at me. I said, yes. I said, you cannot serve God genuinely with all-mindedness. If there is anything you are looking for in the hand of God and God finds commitment, he will give you that. The first thing he will do, he will set you on a trial to check the litmus test of your value system. Why is he going to give you this thing? When I give it to you, of what purpose will it be for me giving it to you? If God finds that thing, he will fast track the process. But if he does not, he will allow you. Time and chance happens to them all. Stand on your feet, let's pray.